Well, I mean, I think the dynamic is, within our relationship and then with many, many relationships is there's this beginning period where, and I was sort of referencing it last night, we were talking like as you were making us popcorn, that I look back and there was this, maybe year-ish for us, maybe a little bit longer period where it was just so easy and it was like so fun, and we were just like, we were playing and the attraction level was out of this world, and it was just very like, it felt very light for a period of time. And then it got very real very quick, and with some couples, it's a little more of a gradual getting realness. And for some, it's very like quick and stark. And it was quick and stark for us. Mm-hmm. We went on our honeymoon, we got pregnant, we had twins, we blended the families. It was just like, it went from this like period of fun and playfulness to a prolonged period where just everything got real and the stress levels were higher, and each of our maybe negative coping habits popped up. Those two things had very rarely interacted with each other in the past.
That's very true.
And then they constantly were interacting with each other for a decade,
right.
And that's where it's worth it. It was, I think what we're referencing is all the work that we had to start doing once it got real.
And we were faced with for me, I was faced for the first time with like my own like individual suffering within the relationship that felt so like I couldn't leave because now we have kids. Like before I could just leave relationships. I'm like, I'm suffering. See you later. I'm out of here. And I couldn't do that now. Like I was like, I need this person. And like I actually was faced with having to stay and work on my shit, AKA no longer being the serial monogamist that I used to be. And that was the start of it. Because if that never had happened and I had left, I'd probably be still playing the same game somehow and not wanting to suffer, because we don't want to suffer as humans. But yeah, so I was faced with my own anxiety, postpartum depression, rejection, resentment towards you, blended family, overwhelm, financial strain. Oh, so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what we were faced with and what many, many couples are faced with was our own stuff.
Right.
That maybe neither of us had a really deep understanding, definitely, and maybe even an awareness of. And that stressful situation of our lives, combined with how we interacted with one another, like presented aspects of myself that I didn't even really know existed, right? And they were problematic, and it was like this long period of becoming aware, being willing to look at it, learning to be tolerant of you sort of like holding up the mirror, but it didn't feel like a mirror. It felt like instead like you were just like, pushing a perception upon me that I wasn't ready to look at, or didn't just didn't have any awareness of. And then like slowly becoming open to this idea that we work with couples with is our relationship gives us the opportunity to become our best selves.
Yeah.
But that's not an easy process.
It's not. You have to be willing to kind of let go of control. Like, because what you thought it should be is never, ever what it is. And so many people are so wounded by that. They're just so disappointed that then they think they can find it in another person. And I found that that's not true. And so like that, it's like grief. Like, God, I thought it was going to be so different, and here's what it is. And I feel so bad. And that grief period, like, okay, I can either stay in this, but it can be different, because I know that EJ and I are like really good people. It can be different, but there's just this grief period, and that's such a such a time of suffering that most people, right, 50% of people decide to get out of it. I'm not joking. That's the statistic right now.
Yeah.
So that's like, right, that's compelling
Yeah.
because it really is hard.